So how did you evolve the culture when you became CEO?
Well, I think it's marrying two ideas which aren't opposing. Externally focused, customer-centric, when in doubt, do something. And action-oriented and all those things, which I think are huge pluses, and we've worked very hard to nurture and keep. But at the same time, we wanted to add analytics, right? Thinking through, being clear about what our priorities are, and doing your homework wasn't a bad thing necessarily. Now, you can't end up stifling a place because of analysis and all the rest, but it does inform and it can work. And how do you put these two ideas together? And they were viewed as mutually exclusive previously, which I just found not true. And it was really marrying the two. And then just making sure that, when in doubt, we're going to do something. I do believe momentum, moving, deciding, taking a decision are great ways to learn. And I don't believe standing still is a smart place to be in business. And so that if you don't know, take a right. If it's a wrong turn, go left, but keep moving. However, analysis can inform you and increase your odds of right turns, left turns, or what do you need to do, right, to move the company along and move a business along. So I think the marriage of the two is really what I work to do.
We sent you to Germany pretty soon after you started here.
Yeah, we were only here a couple of years, and I think the move to Europe was critical for me personally, and Julie too, I think she would say. We were only here a little over 2 years. We had just formed a joint venture with Henkel in Europe. It was a big, complicated deal. The company kind of gotten in trouble through a big acquisition, and we brought in a white knight who happened to be Henkel. With it, we bought a number of their businesses, formed a joint venture, and they ended up taking about a 25% stake in our company at the time. I would say getting out of your country, living in a different market, being a victim of headquarters demands, right? And put simply, I think made me a much better business person. It was good for our marriage. It was, I think I'm a better citizen as a consequence of living somewhere else and seeing U.S. from afar. You just have a different perspective, and there's a lot to love, and there's some things I think, like everything, it's made by humans and it's imperfect. So, and you can see some of that more clearly too when you live in another society or culture. But all those things I thought were really important lessons. And then learning how to lead through influence versus power. And we were running a business at the time with very strong country structures, and I had no authority over the countries. I only had the power of ideas and persuasiveness, i.e., here's what we need to do to win, here's how we think about competition, here's what we could do to help customers. I mean, it's all this stuff. And it was really, that's the only way you're going to get stuff done. And ultimately, I think that's the most important style of leadership. If you have to resort to power, you've sort of lost the argument. So if I have to say no a bunch sitting in my job today, I have to ask myself, what is it that I'm doing that's creating an environment where people are coming up with ideas that are not on strategy or don't make sense financially or something else? I mean, it's an environment I'm creating, and I've got to understand what I have to do to recreate the environment we want. And I don't say no much.
What was it like to get the top job at a young age? How old were you when you became CEO here?
I was 45. I was called into a board meeting one day, and I think I'd been in one other board meeting in my entire career. They call me and they say, well, look, we're going to make you president and COO, so congratulations, but to be clear, this does not mean you're going to be CEO. We're going to also conduct an outside search simultaneously. So I was like, well, that was a long congratulations.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was just the environment. It was like, all right, you take it. There's risk because if you don't get the job, the new person will likely fire you. But it seemed like the only step to take. And then after, it wasn't very long, 15 months, I think, maybe it was 18 months, 15 months they announced I was going to be CEO. How was it? I mean, there's a lot of benefits to getting it at an early age. You got a lot of energy. right? You do it. The downside was I had, 12, 10, and 8-year-old children. And I wanted to make sure that the job didn't interfere with being a good dad. And so then you just have to be kind of ruthless on your priorities, right? It's going to be family and work, not golf. You've golfed with me. You can attest to that, right? It's not going to be other things. I didn't get to go hang out with a bunch of guy friends on weekends and other things. I mean, you just have to say, I can't do that now. There'll be another time in my life when I can go do that. So you just have to make choices. But it was lucky.
Did you aspire to be CEO at some point, or did you have it, as they say, thrust upon you?
I do remember vividly wanting to run a business. That's what I wanted to do, run a division. And I ran divisions, and I loved those jobs. That was a blast.